Hey everyone, it's Ryzen.
And Liz.
So the game's about over. This may not be the final score, but there's like 2 minutes left. It's 26-10 Kansas City. That's highly misleading. Honestly, Kansas City got dominated in this game for most of it. I know that sounds weird considering the score, but frankly, the reason why the Patriots are going to lose this game is because Brian Hoyer exists and he sucks, and that's reality. Honestly, if Cam Newton were to be in this game, chances are Kansas City gets blown out.
Oh, absolutely.
The way Kansas City played, they ought to be really, really embarrassed, frankly. They were awful. Mahomes was terrible. Should have had 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Right.
He was really bad. And the Patriots gave everybody a blueprint. This is how you beat Kansas City. A lot of heavy DB packages. Kansas City has trouble when you match speed for speed. That's just reality.
Yep.
And hopefully the rest of the league
takes notice. And
takes notices.
They should watch this film closely.
Yeah, because they held Kansas City basically scoreless for most of this game.
Until the third quarter.
Kansas City only scored off of trick things that they don't usually do, which shows you how desperate they were.
Right.
So we'll go through the game. First quarter, KC receives. McCourty drops the easy pick. And this is another story of the game. It's just Mahomes on the scoreboard has 0 interceptions. Incredibly misleading because he was god-awful today.
He should have 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Debatably 3, if depending on what you would count the fumble.
Right. Which looked like it was going to be a pick 6.
Oh, it should have been a fumble for a
touchdown, but...
So anyway, they used 6 DBs. They had 8 DBs in on some of these plays. I mean, and it worked. It confused the hell out of Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, they had literally no means of dealing with it for the entire game.
Right.
So, really good defensive game plan by Bill. Anyway, KC gets a field goal. 3 points they didn't earn because it should have been ended on a field goal. It's kind of the story of the game. In fact, on this drive, Mahomes had Hardman wide open in the middle of the field, and for some reason, doesn't throw to him. Mahomes sucked in this game. He was terrible. And the only reason why he wasn't the worst quarterback in this game is because Brian freaking Hoyer exists. So, instead he challenged Gilmore, who freaking locked down Watkins the whole game. I don't know what Mahomes was thinking.
Yeah.
That's 3-0 KC. Patriots go 3-0 because they suck. Hardman does a weird fair catch on the punt return,
right,
and then tries to run after the fair catch. Like, dude, you did this. What are you doing? I know you have 10 yards after you caught it, but no, you don't get to call fair catch and have the entire punt team stop running at you and then run. God, it's idiotic. Anyway, Mahomes overthrows Hill. That was the one time he did have Hill open. He overthrew him.
Yep.
Mahomes was, like I said, really bad in this game.
And then the remainder of the first half.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened.
Kelsey was on his ass every play. In fact, they didn't even double Hill for a lot of this game. Jones covered him one-on-one and covered him one-on-one well.
It's because Jones is so freaking fast.
But a lot of times they did double him.
Yeah.
Patriots did a jet sweep with Zubar on the next drive, but they have to punt. The punt's great. They can punt it to the 4. KC false starts. They false started a lot in this game. But they get a swing pass to get out of it. Mahomes does this stupid thing where he just stands in bounds for Devin to hit him, and then right when Devin's about to hit him, steps out of bounds and then flops. He did that twice in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
And the second time, they gave him the penalty.
The first time it was so obvious.
Luckily, the first time they didn't, and even Devin was like, dude, come on, man. So they get a field goal. This is basically the only points that Kansas City earned the whole game.
Right. The rest of the scores were all free.
So it's 6-0 Kansas City. Hoyer has an awful high throw where he doesn't play fake, the linebacker doesn't bite, and he throws it anyway. Why? It's a one-read play. What are you doing? It's not there. Throw it away.
Hoyer was terrible.
It's horrible. That's the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Patriots defense, because they're so goddamn good, Gilmore causes a fumble. J.C. Jackson recovers. Patriots ball. Edelman decides he doesn't like to catch balls anymore. That's a reoccurring theme in this game, too. Luckily, Gunner's there to do a circus catch. Good, he threw that away. Anyway, Gunner has a circus catch. Andy Reid decides to challenge the spot.
It was really weird. Like,
why? Like, the play was, he ran for 5 extra yards, basically. But he was after the first down anyway when he caught it.
Who cares?
Who cares? And yet Andy Reid wasted a challenge. Stupid. I'm sorry, just stupid.
Yeah.
Boneheaded call by Andy Reid. 5-yard, I mean, he's basically challenging a 5-yard penalty at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Irrelevant. Waste of a challenge. So they win the challenge, but it's a waste.
Patience. And Edelman dropped it again.
Yeah, of course he does. He drops everything. So anyway, Patriots run well, Patriots run well. 3rd and 11. Harry doesn't raise both hands for some reason on the sideline. Pass doesn't catch it, but luckily Folk is good. It's 6-3 KC. Let's see, KC drives, and then this was the bullshit. Okay. I still have no idea what happened.
No one does.
I think I understand what happened, but so Winovich gets a sack, a strip sack, and the ball goes right into Calhoun's hands. Calhoun then breaks a tackle, and he's gone. Touchdown.
But the
they whistled
it dead.
They whistled it dead. So everybody thinks,
what?
Okay, they must have ruled forward progress on Calhoun's return. That's idiotic, but fine. Patriots ball will drive at the 20 or whatever, at their 20.
Yeah.
And then instead, they ruled it a sack.
Makes no sense.
His knee wasn't down. He was falling down during the tackle. He wasn't moving forward. He wasn't running.
He wasn't throwing.
In the pocket.
He wasn't throwing the ball either.
And Bill didn't challenge it. Now, initially, I thought it was because...
Yeah, just dump it off. Who cares?
Well, it's 4th down. I mean, it's irrelevant. The drive's over. So Bill doesn't challenge it. And apparently the reason why he didn't challenge it is because they ruled it forward progress.
I don't understand at all.
In the pocket. In a throwing motion.
The worst call I've ever seen.
Yes.
Ever.
So this is yet another Kansas City game.
Where the Patriots get cocked.
Where they got screwed. And...
Because if you all recall last year, or 2 years ago, 2 years ago, Harry they had to score touchdowns twice, and they both got taken away.
Yeah, they scored it on defense.
And then
offense. Took it away. And then offense, they scored the same touchdown. They took that away too.
Yeah, game's over.
So I mean, what the hell is going on here? And I think it's the same officiating staff.
I don't.
So I don't know. Jesus Christ. I mean, what a disastrous play. I mean, nobody knows what happened. I mean, the NFL is going to have to give an explanation to the Patriots on that one.
Yes, absolutely, they do.
I mean, the Kansas City punts on a ball that they shouldn't have.
It just makes no sense.
Makes no sense. So that's a guaranteed 3 points. Really, Patriots at this point, it should be 10-6, Patriots.
Yeah.
At least 6-6. But whatever. So the Patriots get the ball, they drive. And then Brian Hoyer's a fucking idiot, and I'm sorry, but that's what he is. He thinks apparently 4 is the same as 3. And he takes a sack on 3rd and 10.
And then he's trying to call a timeout.
You can't call 4 timeouts, dumbass. Look, the reason why they started Brian Hoyer is because he's the veteran. He's supposed to avoid these kinds of pocket awareness situations. Instead, he acts like he's a 20-year-old rookie who has no idea what the hell is going on. And
they should have.
They cost points.
Started Stidham.
So it's
honestly.
6-6. Well, you start Stidham to avoid. I mean, you don't start Stidham to avoid those situations.
But instead, Hoyer puts them in terrible situations.
Hoyer does it anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, what a terrible game. So 26-10 is the final score. The game just ended. So 3rd quarter, Hoyer's left in, which I'm stunned by, frankly. Should have come out at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Patriots punt. It looks like the punt might have been touched by Kansas City. I don't know. Bill didn't challenge it. Why not challenge it?
It was the same sort of thing that happened in the Super Bowl where it looked like it touched Edelman, but it didn't actually touch him.
I don't think he touched it. But why not throw the flag? You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting your ass kicked. You need a burst.
Right.
I mean, so, or rather your offense is not doing anything. So at least, you got a shot. I mean, they might have ruled it. A couple of angles look like it touched him, and then one angle looks like maybe it didn't. So who knows?
All right, let's continue through the nonsense.
So anyway, Edelman gets for a couple good catches. Bird gets a good catch,
and that was the end of the goodness for Edelman.
and then Hoyer fumbles, and he fumbles in the dumbest way I've ever seen him fumble, or any Patriot quarterback. He drops back. He holds the ball for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
It was a long time.
It was a long, long time. He sees a defensive end run past him. Now, what do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to turn around and hit you, dumbass? No, I'm just going to sit here and still hold the ball and hold it loose out instead of, falling down and kicking the field goal to tie the game. So he fumbles and Kansas City recovers.
Yeah. In
pretty much the most inexcusable way I've ever seen. The line was great, by the way. Like, all these sacks that Hoyer took, all these hits that Hoyer took were all on him.
Right.
Holding the ball way too long.
Yep.
I mean, it's just ludicrous. And that was the end of Brian Hoyer. Finally, Bill, fuck this.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Kansas City moves, they march the ball, and they basically score a touchdown with a Hill touchdown run off of a trick play.
Yep.
And that was the only real offense that Kansas City ever could muster in this game
right.
in the goal line. I mean, they were bad. So Hill scores. I guess that was legitimate. There was no shenanigans on that drive. So they had 10 actual points in this game, Kansas City. The rest were all gifted to them. Stidham got in. Harris got some huge runs. We go into the fourth quarter. There's a PI call on Matthew. And then there's a best throw of the night for the Patriots. Stidham to Harry. Fade. Touchdown. So they get 10 points. I forget what the score was at this point, but they were down a touchdown or so. They were down one score. I forgot to write the score at this point.
Doesn't matter. They lost.
Whatever. And then there's a 3rd and 10 for Kansas City. They get a PI call that I guess it's PI, but Kelsey fell on his own. I mean, he was grabbed, but he did fall on his own. So they could have let that one go, but whatever. That's technically PI. But it's a ticky-tacky one. And then we get the personal foul call on Wise. Look, he grabbed Mahomes' shoulder running out of bounds.
But he was like this.
But he was like, yeah, that's what he was like.
He wasn't like going like this.
He didn't pull.
He was
didn't
like this.
push. And then Mahomes looked like he flopped. Again. Or he just lost his balance.
Maybe he should go play for the Ravens and flop around like they used to do.
There was a call earlier in this game where I think it was Harris got destroyed out of bounds and they picked the flag up.
Right.
Okay, you got to be consistent. I'm sorry, you have to be consistent. Either you can get hit out of bounds or you can't. And if you're going to call a hard hit out of bounds, you certainly can't call lightly being touched when you're out of bounds.
Right.
So what a terrible officiating in this game. It's not the only reason they lost the game, but it is a frustrating thing. Anyway, Kansas City resorts to another tricky shovel pass jet stream thing. Things they just don't do because they couldn't score. They score on that.
They scored with that
and that
two
was
turnovers.
Completely unearned
yeah.
points. And then the other one was Stidham throws to Edelman. He drops an easy catch. It was a check down.
Right.
Throws it right to a KC receiver, cornerback. Pick 6. Inexcusable for a guy of his level.
Yep.
Totally inexcusable. So again, 3 points. So Kansas City scored 10 legitimate points. The rest were all given to them. And the rest of the game just kind of, nothing really happens. It's a bad pick by Stidham. He missed the throw to Bird, who was open in the end zone.
Yeah, Bird was running, and then he just stopped.
Yeah, he kind of stopped. He should have just
if he kept running, he probably would have caught it.
He would have been open, but, I mean, he beat the guy, and then Stidham threw it in the wrong...
stopped.
Stidham threw it in the wrong place anyway. So, and that's basically the end of the game. Kansas City basically runs out the clock. They punt one more time, but the Patriots do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And KC wheels it out. Now, I will say, look, if I'm Kansas City, I would be worried about a rematch because if Cam Newton is the quarterback on Kansas and on the Patriots, this game's a blowout in the other direction.
Yep.
Very likely.
Or if Hoyer just wasn't if any able quarterback was the quarterback other than Hoyer.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they still lose with Stidham, but it couldn't have been as bad as this.
I don't think Stidham would have made those dumbass mistakes that Hoyer made.
I mean, that's the kind of thing you would expect out of a rookie, not out of Hoyer.
Right.
My guess is we'll see news tomorrow that Hoyer has been cut.
I would hope so.
Because this was a
Garbage.
really inexcusable game.
Right. Really bad.
Patriots ran the ball really well again, so you got the Broncos next week. That should be an easy win, even with Stidham starting.
The Broncos are so crippled.
Broncos suck. They're a terrible
They're
team
so
this
crippled.
year. That should, I mean, any given Sunday, but they should win that game no matter what, and then they'll get Cam back after the bye, whatever. And then, I mean, I'm pretty confident they can beat Seattle. Even in Seattle, they can beat Seattle. Although Seattle's in the NFC, but so I guess they would only.
They
be
play
in the Super
Baltimore
Bowl,
in November.
Yeah, I'm less worried about the Baltimore game, frankly, with how well they played against Kansas City.
Yeah.
They play Kansas City again in the playoffs. They're going to beat Kansas City in the playoffs.
If they can stay healthy and not have injuries, they are playing pretty well right now.
They're a much better team than I thought they were going to be.
This game showed it. If, stupid things didn't happen.
No, they beat themselves. Kansas City didn't win. This is basically how the Patriots would win many of their games.
They would just...
But the other team would beat themselves.
Right.
That's what happened here. But that's not a consistent thing because this is Belichick, and that shit ain't going to fly.
No.
So, let's get Cam back and get a real quarterback. And, just got to beat Buffalo a couple of times and they'll win the division.
Yeah, they'll beat the Jets, no problem. The Jets are hopeless this year.
Buffalo's playing real well right now, but I don't.
They play the Chiefs on Sunday.
It's Buffalo,
I think.
Okay?
Oh, no, they play them the following week.
Buffalo is just one of those teams where, I'm sorry, until the season's over, I don't believe in them. Same thing with Jacksonville.
Well, they play the Chiefs in 2 weeks. It'd be a good game to watch.
Yeah, until Buffalo proves to me they can win consistently.
If they can beat the Chiefs, then I'll give it to them. But anyways,
if they can, they're not going to beat the Chiefs.
This video's long enough.
Well, they played like ass on offense. The defense was fantastic.
Yes.
And they actually outplayed offensively Kansas City for the most part, even as shitty as the Patriots' offense was.
They had almost 200 rushing yards again.
Mahomes was just so goddamn bad in this game. He was terrible.
For his standards, yeah.
No, he was bad. Even for a regular quarterback, he was bad. Even for an average quarterback. I mean, he should have had 2 picks and a fumble for a touchdown. Or debatably 3 picks. They could have called that fumble thing a pick, but...
True.
He was bad. And he missed a lot of throws.
He did. That was the one noticeable thing.
He was overthrowing constantly, and he was completely confused. I mean, he would change the play, and he'd change it to the wrong fucking play all the time.
Yeah, kudos to Bill. He had a great defensive scheme.
He was completely confused the whole game. I mean, they've confused Mahomes for half a game before. They confused him the entire game.
Most of it, yeah.
I mean, it was good. It was good by Bill, but whatever. We'll go, I guess.
Video will be up late tomorrow.
Folk was good.
Yeah, he kicked when he had to.
Punting was good.
Yeah, Gunner was not Gunner. The other guy.
Bailey.
Gunner did play. He was good when he played.
He was good. Bird was pretty good. Really, it was just the veterans that let us down.
It was strange. All of the people who came in from the practice squad, all of the new players, all played great. It was the veterans who ruined it, which is really strange.
Edelman, Hoyer.
McCourty, for that matter.
Devin McCourty. J.C. Jackson dropping a pick.
Strange, but...
Oh, I think I missed that. J.C. Jackson also dropped a pick in this game on one of the drives.
So fresh blood, they had it this game. It was all the other guys that made all the screw-ups.
Well, whatever. And by the way, that pick to J.C. Jackson was into triple coverage. I have no idea what Mahomes was thinking.
I don't either.
He was awful. Awful in this game. Luckily for him, Hoyer was worse.
True. Yep.
Whatever. All right, guys. We'll see you for the preview for Broncos game or whatever.
On Sunday.
That's Rising.
And Liz.
Thanks for watching. Take care.